Alright, welcome. If you're new to the channel, my name is Elliott with Rickety Ski Reviews. Today we're going to be reviewing some reviews, or reacting to some reviews, from the Salomon QST 98. Now, when I reviewed these skis, I really like them. In fact, I like them so much that I bought the QST 106, which is just a wider version. Basically, I bought it as a powder ski, but I was blown away by these skis. I think Salomon has like one of the few kind of innovations in recent years with like just how good that kind of bulge in the middle of the ski feels and how it kind of sets on the arc of the turn. So yeah, as I remember, I really like the Salomon QSTs. They were really kind of quick edge to edge. They were nice and light for the woods, but they also carved really well for how light and how well they floated off trail. If I remember right, I think I gave these skis a 9 out of 10. So we're gonna watch Ski Essentials review and just kind of see how that compares. As always, I typically like the Ski Essentials reviews. The one thing that they kind of have going on is that they also sell the skis. So they're not always the first to be super critical. A lot of times they'll kind of, they're good at pointing out what's good about the ski, but they don't always go super hard on what the ski's downfalls are, because they still have to move inventory. But overall, I think that they're very honest, and I've never felt like they were saying something good about the ski that wasn't true, or over-embellishing even. So yeah, let's do the QST 98 from 2023.
Hey skiers, it's Bob with SkiEssentials.com. Welcome to our 2023 ski test. We got a carryover model for you today that we're pretty happy about. Salomon QST 98. Great all-mountain ski with that wider bodied underfoot, waist width for more powder skiing, softer snow. Great versatile option for skiers that really just want to do a little bit of everything.
Alright, so far he's like totally on the money. They absolutely float really well, and for how well they float, they really do a good job carving too. So not a ton of comments so far. I will say, just going into this, I know these guys are from the East Coast, so they're at Stowe. So I know Stowe does get some powder, but I'll be interested to see their thoughts, because I'm coming looking at these skis from the West Coast, where the snow is really light and fluffy, and I kind of feel like it's a perfect environment for these skis. But I don't know. Somebody put in a comment that Stowe gets a lot of powder. And my man, I am from Vermont. I have skied at Stowe a lot. In fact, my dad has a season pass at Stowe. And it is probably, in my opinion, the best Vermont mountain overall. I like the terrain a little bit better at Burke, but I'm probably just biased because I grew up there. But Stowe is great. But saying they get a ton of snow, I don't know. I'd probably put an asterisk on that. They get a ton of snow for the East Coast. I think the East Coast does get good amounts of snow, but it just doesn't last as long as the West Coast, or it doesn't stay light and fluffy. Because our mountains are so high and because they get so much wind, it kind of keeps that like life and fluffiness in the snow a lot longer. That being said, I grew up on the East Coast. There is plenty of snow. I hate when people call them hills, because like the vertical at Burke is the same as a lot of Idaho mountains. So I'm not gonna say any of those kind of cliche things. But I don't know. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I don't remember a ton of big snow days. It would maybe be like 3 to 5 a year that you would get real powder days, and even then, that powder tends to be a little bit on the heavier side. So, I'm not gonna credit where it's due, but I would be curious to see how someone who skis at Stowe regularly likes these Salomon QSTs. But he's right, these are a very versatile ski, and they do a lot of things really well, like they have a surprising range, I guess.
And just slightly on the wider end of the spectrum, there are a few things in this ski that kind of push it to the free ride section, even though it's below 100 millimeters underfoot. Most notably the taper shape and the rocker profile. We are built with a poplar wood core, and then Salomon.
Okay, I'm gonna challenge that a little bit. I don't know if maybe they're good at being a free ride ski, but I kind of, where I thought they really thrived was as an off-trail ski, as a powder ski, and even as a carving ski, they held up well. So in my opinion, if I was categorizing them, it maybe be more of an all mountain ski, but that's just a nitpick. And I don't really do a lot of like the free ride terrain park kind of stuff. So, I don't know. I would say that they are well categorized in all mountain, at least in my experience.
And uses their CFX, their carbon and flax material, in the forebody and in the tail in order to stiffen the ski and take away a lot of the vibration. So by putting...
Okay, I've ranted a ton about vibration, and probably to the point ad nauseum, I guess is the term. I do feel like that's very true though, like the construct, that what he's saying, I think it does what they say it does, as far as like having a light, soft tip and being able to be really good at turn initiation while having kind of a firm tail. I did feel like it was a really good platform to stand on and kind of push off of to the next turn. So I wouldn't say he's off the mark on that, but I don't know. I don't know if they're reducing a ton of chatter. But anyway, I do like the rocker shape though, and I like how they kind of integrated that with that bulge in the middle to help make a nice balance of rocker and easy in the tree ski while also making it carve.
Putting that material in there, they're boosting the performance of the ski, really making it more snappy and energetic. You can totally feel it. It's a lot more responsive.
All right, this is gonna be another nitpick. What he was doing earlier, spraying the snow. Have you guys noticed that like on social media, there are a ton of these skiing shots where someone will make a power, like hockey stop, make a bunch of snow and then ski through it? I don't know what it is about that. I hate watching that. It like makes me kind of like dizzy almost, or it was like the first time I saw it, it was cool, but now everybody does it for every social media. It's like the same as like when the drones came out and everybody was making these kind of drone shots. I hate the skiing through powder shot. All I think is like, God, now your goggles are full of snow and your face is covered, like, and then I can't see the skiing, which is what I really want to see. I don't know, maybe I'm in the minority, but I don't like the spray snow and ski through it. It like messes up the line, and as a viewer, I don't enjoy it. Anyway, we'll keep going. I'm getting sidetracked.
Have been some other skis that don't have this material, and the way that they blend it and weave it in is pretty nice, pretty smart, using those vertical strengths.
Ooh, that's really good skiing, and I like the slow-mo. Okay, you see how he, like, his upper body kind of stays there and he kind of stays in that squat position, but then what that allows him to do is it allows him to extend his downhill leg to get those really beautiful angles. Whoever this is skiing, it kind of looks like Bob, but it might be someone else. It's really good skiing though. It's very, very good skiing. It's a little on the tails, but I don't know. That's just a style. It's not a critique. It's just I'm observing his style. He likes kind of getting the tail, like getting the energy out of the tails, and he likes to kind of stay on the tails a little bit longer than I do. But that's okay. That's not a bad thing. But very good skiing. I would bet too, with like having kind of that firmer tail, that this style of skiing is really well matched for the Salomon QST.
And having it really just kind of react to your movements. Since it's up front, it really gets the benefit of...
So he's doing a little bit of a hop turn, but that's totally okay. And sometimes it happens with the terrain. Like, it doesn't look like this is the case because it's stow and they have really good grooming. But what you'll get is sometimes these kind of spines when the groomers come up and there's a gap. And sometimes you just kind of hop in between for fun. But this is really, really good skiing. Also, like, do these guys get access to the mountain early? Because these groomers, this is like untouched corduroy, which is really hard to get, especially somewhere like Stowe that's so popular. This is like perfect corduroy. You know, and I was talking earlier about Stowe. Stowe is almost like in a different class of its own as far as like ski areas in Vermont, because they just have really good grooming and really good facilities. And like the mountain itself is just nice. It's got a lot of diversity. But this is really good skiing, and I'm glad to see someone took the Salomon QSTs on the groomers, because a lot of the reviews I saw before going into my demo was like just how good they were off trail, which I will say I think they really thrive in. But it's like you can take them in the groomers too. They really carve well. So I'm happy to see this. This is nice.
Your initiation into the turn And then same thing in the tail. When you release from your turn, you can really feel that carbon shoot you out in one turn and into the next.
Thank you. Finally, someone talked about that. Yeah, they do a really good job. I will say that I don't notice them shoot me out of the turn as much as like a K2 Mindbender, or even like a head. Head is like, if you make the way that head skis with like their eye rallies and things like that, those really shoot you out the back more than something like a Salomon. I will say, I think he's not pointing out that like the thing that really felt unique to me with the Salomon QST 98 is just how comfortable the arc of the turn feels because of that ski shape and because of that kind of bulge that they made. The way that you set and the way that the ski likes to kind of almost be at its peak flex makes them feel really comfortable kind of at the apex of that turn. So I would say that's what makes it really unique, at least the way that I ski. But what he's saying isn't wrong. I'm just saying that that's something that would stand out to me more than what he's pointing out. But so far, so good.
Excuse me. They also use their edge amplifier, so there's a beefy section of sidewall right on.
Who came up with that name? Like Atomic has all these like funny acronyms, and Salomon's just like, it's a edge amplifier. Yeah, it amplifies the edge. Yeah, that makes sense. Ski naming is always really funny to me.
Underfoot on top of this orange sidewall. That really increases the torsional stiffness in the edge grip underfoot, which when you're getting into a 98 millimeter underfoot ski with some pretty dramatic taper and rocker, it's really nice to have that extra material underfoot just to give you more confidence and control in a carved turn.
Yeah, what he's saying is totally right. Those nicely built sidewalls do a really good job of like making it so it has a comfortable turn while also having a shape that's going to be really diverse in a kind of off-trail setting. So yeah, I think he's on the money. I mean, I'm not sure that the sidewall does it as much as the ski shape does, and sometimes when they say stuff like this, it sounds a little to me like reading off of something that Salomon sent them, or what kind of goes on the packaging from the manufacturer. But I don't think it's wrong. I just I question how much of a role it's playing, but I don't know. I think it's fine analysis.
But really the story of this ski is the rocker profile and taper shape. So from when this ski came out last year, one of the things that really jumped out at us was the shorter turn radius. So by bringing the taper down into the middle of the ski from the shovel and then up towards the middle from the tail, they've shortened that side cut. This is the 183 and we're looking at a 17 meter arc. So for a ski this wide, that's pretty short. Certainly adds to that powder performance, especially when you see.
Okay. One thing they're talking about right now is turn radius. So for those of you watching who might be wondering why that's important, the turn radius being lower on a ski like this that is kind of has like powder capabilities. The reason it's really important is turn radius being short, especially, is really key when you're in the trees. Because if you think about it, it's not like an open hill where you can kind of control what radius you want just based on what feels good to you. When you're in the trees, you really have to adjust that based on how much of a gap there is in between the trees and how much there is in between the turns. So having a short radius ski gives you a wider range of turns that you're able to make comfortably, and it gives you better access to those trees. It's almost like a what's the way to explain it? Like if you were going to take your car and you were going to a parking lot and there were a bunch of cones around, based on like the the turn radius of your car or how short it was, would add to your flexibility of what you can turn around. It's the same for skis, except the turn radius can be affected by more than length. It can be affected by the cut and the rocker. And here what he's saying is Salomon has made a really nice turn radius, and that's important because if you want to be able to set different lines in the trees, that turn radius is really, really important. And Salomon, in my opinion, with that kind of bulge in the middle of the ski, really hit it out of the park. I mean, I think it's such a cool design. It's allowing you to carve and get responsiveness in the trees and get those lines that you want. That's what I think kind of sets this ski apart from every other ski out there. So it's a very cool design. There's a lot of things that ski companies put out and they go, this is changing the game. And Salomon is almost like weirdly soft-spoken about it because this design, I think, is actually changing the game. It's allowing shorter radiuses, but still clean carving.
kind of the dramatic nature of the taper. But starting with the rocker, I mean, it's pretty apparent that this ski has that very mustachioed shape, almost like a DPS with an RP shaping. Very long rocker starting way down here and then leading to that pretty big splay. So, you know, right away, like, this thing just screams soft snow flotation.
Well, not only does it scream soft snow flotation, but the other perk of it is that if you think about the part of the ski that's actually on contact with the snow, that being shorter allows you more flexibility in your short turns, and it's also going to allow you to like kind of get those quick turns when you've got powder and then trees. So it's kind of funny, like this is a really cool design, and I don't see a lot of people skiing on Salomon. I see a lot more people on Nordicas, Blizzards, which is fine, but it's like, I'm kind of, I think, I don't know, like the right term for this might be, it's kind of like a sleeper ski. It's like, it performs really well, it has a really unique design, and I don't see a ton of people on it. Why that is, I don't know. It could be, you know, whoever's selling skis in town at this local sports shop. It could be marketing. I'm not sure, but these are a very, very kind of unsung hero in my opinion as far as ski design. I think these are really, really nice skis, and they don't have nearly the popularity. But isn't that life, right? Like, maybe it'll be appreciated later. I don't know.
As well as this entry into the turn and the playful nature. And then that taper shape, very spoony, you know, nice, out, widest part of the skis all the way down here. So that taper combined with the rocker really just give this ski a nice platform to stand on in the soft snow. Really good floater for sure. And then similar theory.
That sounded funny. Really good floater. Yeah, I mean, it is always weird when they talk about its flotation and they're skiing at Stowe, Vermont. I know you guys get some snow, but like, at least seeing ski footage, it would be nice to see it kind of some of the flotation. So I guess maybe that's where I come in. As someone who skis on the West Coast, who's skiing in multiple feet of snow, these skis do float really well. And especially I demoed the 98s and they still floated well. You know, even compared to something with a wider width. Like, I thought these performed really well just in the shape of everything. So even though this isn't being illustrated super well in this video, I can confirm these do actually float really well, especially in the soft powder. So anyway, at least for you as the person on the other end of the screen, if you're looking at this and wondering, I will confirm as a West Coast skier, these are in fact great in powder and great in the trees. They carve well. Very, very nice skis. In fact, these were my ski of the year pick. So, and I actually bought them. There's like ski of the year, oh yeah, it's very nebulous. It's like, okay, I actually went out, spent my own money, bought these skis. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. I did get the 106 as more of like a designated powder ski, but anyway, long story short, I like these QSTs so much. Yeah, let's keep going.
And the tail here, we got that long rocker profile. It's more gradual, you know, less abrupt in the splay here, but still very long, you know, especially for a 98 underfoot ski. This is a type of rocker that we see in, you know, usually 100 and teens type of freeride ski. So it really gives this thing a different type of feel than a lot of other skis in this.
Man, I should really have Zach try out my skis and see what he says, because the freeride stuff, I mean, he's like an actual freeride coach. If you watch some of like the Atomic Maverick and K2 Mindbender, you would have seen Zach skiing in those, and he's an actual freeride coach. So maybe we'll get him on a pair of these and just get his thoughts on that statement.
Range. And then same thing with the taper, widest part of the skis brought all the way down here, so very smooth. You know, the crazy thing is you can really get this thing to get up on a high edge angle and really rip long turns. When you know, get it in that medium to high edge angle, it really comes around easily. You know, it's got that nice flex, so you can access the, you know, the whole part of that side cut.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. Yeah, and I like how he's talking about the shape in conjunction with the flex, because like there's flex and then there's shape, and sometimes people kind of like will attribute the traits of a ski all to one, and that the actual full ski experience is a combination of the ski shape combined with the flex. So like, what does the ski feel like when it's at full flex? What does it feel like when it's having to be kind of stivied in the trees? So I really like that he's combining these. because I think that what makes these skis really unique is that the like kind of that innovative shape with that bulge in the middle, combined with how soft it is and combined with the rocker, is what really allows it to carve. Because I tried some other skis like the Bent series, and they obviously could flex and they had a nice shape for flotation, but they really didn't carve. So these have kind of made a nice combination of, okay, we're gonna make these really responsive for turning as well as having that flotation. Which skis don't always have to do. Some people are just like, I just want it to float, that's all I care about. Salomon like went out of their way to design something that really used kind of the shape and the rocker and the flex to make a nice turn. So I mean, this is a very, very well thought out ski.
Which is great for on-trail skiing. I think that, you know, powder aside, that the on-trail capabilities of this ski is what sticks out the most. It's just incredibly surprising how agile and predictable it is.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what I've been preaching this whole time. The other thing I would throw in too, just so you as a consumer or whatever, or just a viewer knows, another ski that does it really well is the Volco Mantra and the Fisher Ranger. I feel like sometimes these ski reviews get a little bit isolated. They're almost like in a vacuum. And I want to say too that like the Volco Mantra does a really good job of that, as well as the Fisher Ranger, kind of balancing that off-trail ski with some nice carving shapes. So anyway, just kind of an aside.
On a groomer, even for 98 millimeters underfoot and with this dramatic taper and rocker. So really nice blend of attributes in this ski, and I think that's what people are looking for when they're looking for that one ski to do it all. I think this is as good of an option as there is out there.
Okay, we've talked about this before, but the trade-off is that if you try to get one ski to do it all, you end up with like a limited range of what it's gonna do really well. So, you know, be careful with that. Like the skis have come a long ways with being able to do it all, quote unquote, but no ski does it all. If you want like the best skiing experience, and this is something you're really like into, get two pairs of skis. Get a pair of skis that are like really just responsive carving skis, and get a pair that are like designated powder skis. That being said, I like to ski lines where I'm hitting a groomer to off trail, then back to groomer, then back to off trail, etc. So I like skis like this that can carve, and I think every ski should be able to carve a turn. But don't look for a ski that's gonna do it all perfectly, because that ski doesn't exist. And you can spend extra money, you can get bombers, whatever, still doesn't. You'd be better off getting two pairs of normal price skis. Yeah, anyway.
We were stoked to get on it last year when it came out, and pretty happy to see it returning unchanged for this year. It's Salomon QST 98. Check it out at skiessentials.com, and we'll see you out there on the hill. Bye.
Okay, I always give Ski Essentials a hard time for this, and they're probably the best actors out there, like compared to like Peter Glenn and these other places, because they sell the ski, so they tend to be, in my mind, like a little bit on the positive side. But what I will say is, this is the part maybe you've come for me, because I can be a little bit on the negative side. But that being said, I bought these skis. I like them a lot. I think I gave them like a 9 out of 10. They're very innovative. But I will say, if you're looking for the shortcomings of the ski, there is some weirdness, and you have to put some real mileage on these skis to know this. The weird part about the Salomon QSTs is that their turn initiation is really good. It feels really good once it gets set in the turn, but it doesn't like to release a turn once you've started it. So once you start that turn, get it locked in and get it going. If you get some weirdness on a carve where you want to like release that pressure and then start it again, or release it and just start the new turn, it doesn't like that. It will wash out your turn and make it really kind of ugly. Whereas like something that is like a designated carver, if you release it, then if you start your turn, release it, and then start again, it'll kind of pick up where it left off and just turn your shape. These with this unique shape, once they get that turn locked in, and you try to release it, it won't let you release and restart it. So you have to be a little bit more mindful and kind of looking ahead with your turn shape, almost like a snowboard is actually, in a weird way. But that, I would say, is the Salomon QST's kind of weakness. Now that is a tiny subset of a weakness, but just so you know, if you load the ski, you know, be prepared for it to be locked in, or if you're not used to that, just get used to it over time and kind of look ahead more with your turns. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just Maybe there's just something wrong with me, but I just want to be honest with you guys, because I don't sell skis, I don't care. But the Salomon QST's kind of weaknesses, yeah, once you, if you're somebody who likes to set up a turn and wash it out, the Salomon QST really doesn't like to do that, and it can feel really uncomfortable for doing that. Now, that being said, if you can just look ahead a little bit and you lock in that turn, it's the most comfortable arc of a turn. It really, really feels smooth and comfortable once you get it locked in. But, you know, if you're gonna buy these, you should know the good and the bad. Because, you know, if you're skiing for them for years, especially if you're gonna have this as a one ski quiver, you should know what you're getting yourself into. But that being said, you know, I recommend these to friends. I bought them myself, so, you know, full disclosure. But as always, Ski Essentials, great review. Bob, very insightful. I will say, if I was just gonna give some critique, maybe spend some more time on these skis, or kind of push them a little bit farther going between terrains, because that's kind of where I felt that turn initiation locking in. And, you know, people want to know the bad parts of skis too. Or maybe that's why I'm here, I don't know. But yeah, I think overall this is really good, and I think if you're looking for a ski, worst case scenario, just try these. They're very unique, and they're very, it feels like trying something new and innovative. So these are great skis, and especially for powder skiing in the woods. I don't think there was anything that felt more comfortable turn to turn, and I don't think there's a ski I would want more in the trees than these. So anyway, as always, thank you so much for watching. If you like this content, please like and subscribe. If you want to get like kind of notifications as this content comes out, so you can kind of see everything as I'm putting it out there, ring the bell. But otherwise, yeah, just thank you for watching, and yeah, thanks so much. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. See ya.
Beautiful. Lovable. Kiss.